It's February 1st. I'm Ezra Levant, and you're watching Battleground. Oh, hi, everybody. Ezra Levant here. I am technically the president of the Rebel News Network Limited, but I like to call myself Rebel Commander because it's just a little pick-me-up. I like to start my day with a couple of Red Bulls and a coffee, and just to say, you can do it. I have taken to watching Shia LaBeouf's motivational video. Can we get that? Is you can do it. Just do it. You know what? I'm 46 and a half years old. In fact, I turned 47 in 17 days. And I watch a lot of videos. I'm in the video business, but it was not until yesterday that I encountered this inspirational video by Shia LaBeouf. Shia, whatever, Shiite, Sunni. Is he Shiite? I think he's half Jewish. I think his mother's Jewish. I think he's technically Jewish. Anyways, so Shiite LaBeouf has an incredible inspirational video. It's only 1 minute long, but I get more oomph out of it than I do from a 90-minute Tony Robbins infomercial from my youth. Would you join with me in your weekly pick-me-up? I had my 2 Red Bulls. I had my coffee. Let's watch Shia LaBeouf together, and let's have a great Friday. Roll the tape.
Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it! Some people dream of success while you're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not gonna stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it! Just do it! Yes, you can! Just do it! If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up.
I am utterly convinced. Now, I got to tell you, I am well aware that that is performance art. I know that. But I've watched that, I have just discovered this yesterday, I've watched it 6 times. I can't find a single flaw in it. I find his logic tight. I don't mind the oi flexing, you know. That little move where he goes like, ah, like I don't know, is that like there's a boiled egg and I just take the boiled egg. That's what I thought of, boiled eggs. I don't know. But I thought you're right. Wake up and work hard. Don't just dream. But I thought it was good if you're sick of starting again, stop quitting. So yeah, anyhow, so I feel great. Every Friday from 12 noon to 1 Eastern, I sit down here and I kibitz, show you some fun videos, and take your questions. And by the way, you can participate too. You can chip in. It's called a super chat. And what a super chat really is a regular chat. But if you chip in a few bucks, a few pounds, a few quid, a few pesos, a few rupees, a few rubles, then your comment is highlighted in a bright color and it's appended to the top of the little box there. More importantly, I see it out of the corner of my eye, so I make sure to refer to it. Yes, I am aware. I see some comments here. Yes, I am aware of his capture the flag. You will not divide. He will not divide us. I actually yesterday, after watching this inspirational video, I went through some of his other performance art videos. Can we grab "Elastic Heart" by Sia? Can we grab that vid? I am aware that Shiite, is it Shiite LaBeouf? Shyamalan? Is this M. Night Shyamalan? Are they related? I am aware that Shia LaBeouf is unusual. I'm aware that he seems to be a critic of the Trump administration. Well, duh, he's a Hollywood actor. He's a dramatic actor. But I also believe that the lad has some talent. And, as you can tell, I mean, look at me. I'm obviously a Sia fan. Is it Sia or is it Shia? Or is it Saya? It's Sia. We're talking about the singer who does Chandelier. Can we play a little bit of Elastic Heart? Roll it.
But there was
We can't play a lot of that because we'll get a copyright strike. But can you find somewhere he's climbing up on that steel cage with his bare hands? Just give me 10 seconds of that. That's amazing. This guy can dance. He's toy like a toiger. He's got a sense of humor. I think he can act, sort of. And also, can you get a picture of his mom? I think her name is Sadie or Shina. So you got Sia, you got Shia, you got Shia, and you got Sadie, and you got Shyamalan. It's like a whole new language. So this has changed my life, I want you to know. For at least like 24 hours, this is my thing. Blue Mazer says, with all the bad news in the world, especially the new pro-abortion laws in the U.S., how do you get away from news and relax? Well, watching some Sia and Shia videos is a good way. Here, just take a look at this. Look at that, 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 look at that. Look at that, look at that upper body strength. And look at that fancy dance girl underneath just spinning like that. I mean, I heard that he's quite unusual in person. I heard some reports about how that video production actually went down. But so what? It was beautiful art, and I don't think it was porny. I don't think it was like pedophilia. Some people have said you got an adult man in a cage with a girl. I didn't get that vibe from the artistry there at all. In fact, I got something much more pathetic. Speaking of pathetic, hey guys, I want to tell you, can you load up his top 10 reasons? Can you go to the dog reason? Can you go straight to the dog part? Can I tell you that we have gone on a bit of a hiring spree? I don't want to say spree because that implies that it's injudicious or profligate or wasteful or unserious. It's none of those things. We have brought aboard 4 new Rebel personalities, and we're still working with a 5th that we have yet to debut. We want to make sure we got our ducks in a row there. Perhaps you've seen 2 videos from, I mentioned the word pathetic, and I probably mentioned the word millennial. We have a fella, Adam is his real life name, his Christian name. Can you still say that anymore? Adam is his Christian name. But he goes by the moniker Pathetic Millennial. And first of all, you gotta like a guy who says that. He just sort of leads with his chin. He's saying, I'm gonna call myself a pathetic millennial before you call me that. So we'll just get that out of the way, and there, all the tension is gone. Are we ready? Okay, so he did a video for us. He's done a couple videos for us. He's going to do a lot more, God willing. And he did a top 10. He's still a student. And he did top 10 reasons why school sucks. I appreciate the boldness, him doing that while he's still in school. I'm not going to play all 10 reasons for you, but this is one of his 10 reasons why school sucks. Take a listen.
Puppies. There was an event called PAWS at my school, an event where you can pet dogs if you're stressed, and I was sent to cover it to make a story. I thought it was going to be a room full of puppies. It was not. It was literally 5 service dogs and their handlers spaced 5 feet apart. Students lined up out the door so they could come in 3 at a time and pet a dog for 2 minutes. When I asked if any of the students wanted to be interviewed about this stupid event, most of them said,
I'm actually so stressed right now, and I can't, I just want to pet some dogs. I can't, I'm sorry.
Are you serious? My generation is so pussified that they line up out the door to pet some random dog for 2 minutes and are too triggered to even talk about it. Number 9, the cow.
I thought that was really funny. Can we get a little bit of his barbecue video? His Fearman's, thanks. I thought that was funny. And it's funny because I like how he talks about it. It's funny because I like how he looks. But it's also funny because it is pathetic. Could you imagine students at school lining up like, okay, customer number 22, we're calling your number, customer 22, come forward and pet your dog. You have 120 seconds to de-stress. Okay, go, pet the dog, pet the dog, pet the dog. Like what kind, and I can't even talk, I'm so stressed. I mean, to pet the dog in like in a clinical, antiseptic manner like that, isn't half the fun of dogs just sort of wrestling or playing. No, come, pet dog. Okay, extend hand, pet dog. Oh my God! And I thought he told the story very well. Let me show you a little bit. Can you go to the fun part? Like get into it where he engages with it. It's an all fun video. Maybe you know Pathetic Millennial. He's got a super viral vid out there. I don't know. It's got like 5 million views or 7 million views. Take a look at this. If you recognize him, maybe it was from here.
Call the police for what?
Hot dogs! What? More hot dogs? No, you're not hungry?
I think that might be cannibalism if they eat a hot dog.
I thought that was pretty funny. It goes on. He went to a PETA protest and he had a hot dog barbecue. I thought it was pretty funny. So that's he's joined the Rebel, and he's wrapping up school, and hopefully we get a lot of vids out of him. I think he's really funny. So that's Adam, Pathetic Millennial. I expect we'll have Jessica's new video up today, right? That's not ready yet? Okay. Another young talent in the Ontario, the Greater Toronto area, is named Jessica. And her first video debuts today. I have not seen the produced vid. I've read the script. It is good. It is good. It takes on We Day. You know what I'm talking about? Those insufferable Kielburger brothers. Yeah, show her in the barbecue video. Yeah, that's her with the Pathetic Millennial. That's her on the left there. I think that's her. Yeah, that's her. Not the PETA gal there at the end. So Jessica's got a video coming out today, and I haven't seen the vid, but I've seen the script. I'm very excited about it. It takes a bit of courage to take on the Kielburgers. So that's coming. That's coming too. The third talent that I would like to announce. So just to recap, we got Pathetic Millennial. That's what Adam calls himself. I think it's funny. I like his hairstyle. I like his nose ring. I like his tats. I like his T-shirt. I like his style. Jessica, video debut, I think today. And yesterday, we rolled out this hot as fire trailer for our newest talent on the other side of the pond, a member of the European Parliament. She is a sitting member of the EU Parliament. And I know you're thinking, oh, that's not a thing. Well, it is a thing. That's the problem. Now they're getting out of it. That's the thing. She was elected as a UKIP MP 5 years ago, MEP, excuse me. The E stands for European, member of a European Parliament. And they've worked themselves out of a job, right? Because Brexit is happening. This whole Brexit shenanigans. They're just talking about, well, do we do it this way or this way or this way? It's happening, I think, at 11 p.m. March 29th. Is that right, Alex? Is that the deadline? Yeah, 11 p.m. March 29th. They're out of the EU. So Janice Atkinson is now a rebel. Take a look.
All around you, Rome burns, literally. Yeah, I've got your attention now. Be afraid. No. What don't you understand? We've got to secure our borders. Our cultures and identities are under threat. You're obsessed with the gender agenda. Please, we women don't need special treatment. The populists are winning elections, kicking out the old guard.
You know what? I'm a sucker for a British accent. I think so many people in Canada and the United States aren't we? But I'm not going to do all my accents today because I haven't been over there since I think the last time I was in the UK was in October or whatever. The last day Tommy, his last appearance at the Old Bailey. I think that was October 3rd, just going from memory. So normally I was going over there every month when he was in litigation, and so I would hear those lovely sing-song accents. And I would start to, oh, you're from the north, oh, you're from the south, you're fancy pants, you got the received pronunciation. And then, oh, you're a bit Cockney, you're about this. And of course, Tommy Robinson, who I've spent the most time with, his that Luton sound. Anyway, can we play it again? I just was, no, I'm not going to try and do her. No, I've got your attention now. Or so I don't know what accent would that be, Alex? What would you call Janice's accent? Southeast Kent, is that what you said? All right. There's so many, I don't know how you can fit so many accents on one small island. But they do. And I just can't get enough. Let's listen to that promo one more time.
All around you, Rome burns, literally. Yeah, I've got your attention now. Be afraid. No. What don't you understand? We've got to secure our borders. Our cultures and identities are under threat. You're obsessed with the gender agenda. Please, we women don't need special treatment. The populists are winning elections, kicking out the old guard.
You know, I've got a problem. I'll tell you one of my problems is that I'm the boss of the Rebel. I mean, I've told you that. Every day I start my day by watching Shia LaBeouf. Do it! So I'm the boss, so I have to make grown-up decisions, but I'm also a fan. I am a super fan of Janice. The more I get to know her and the more I watch her style, the more I watch her fight, I'm a fan. And it's a very difficult thing to be sort of the boss and a fan because you love your talent so much, and so you're blinded by emotion. I think Janice is going to be amazing. I've been talking to her about some of the stories she's going to cover, both in the UK and on the continent, some of the interviews, and I'm just a super fan. I don't know, maybe that's not a problem. Maybe that's just the dream come true. I mean, I'm like you. I watch things, I like things, but I get to say, I like that talent so much, let's see if we can do some videos with them. Or there's someone who's doing these videos sort of as a hobby, let's try and turn it into a job. I think that's what we're doing with Adam and Jessica, I think. Is Jessica's video in the unlisted YouTube file? Because if it is, we can give people a sneak preview of it. If not, they can just wait a couple hours till it's up. So in some ways it's a super, listen, there's not a lot of pecuniary benefits to being in the YouTube business and trying to make a payroll of 20 plus people every 2 weeks. That's not the fun part. The fun part is when I put together a playlist, it's a real life playlist. I can say, hey, stop doing that as a hobby, come do it as a job. Or hey, you should be doing something more than just that. Let's just do it bigger and let's get you try. So it's a fun job when it's fun. So I mentioned Adam. I mentioned Jessica, and we showed a quick clip of her in the barbecue video. I showed you Janice. Now, folks, I don't want to be a tease. And I wouldn't mention this other than the fact that we're talking about new hires. But I told you 1, 2, 3 new hires on Monday. We are going to tell you about someone joining the Rebel that will make you go, whoa. It's a name you know, and it's pretty exciting, and I guarantee you it will get people talking in Canada, the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, and I know you're thinking, Ezra, stop being a tease. I'm only mentioning it because I said we're hiring 4 people, and I listed 3, so you're saying, well, where's the 4th? Well, Monday morning, you'll see our 4th. And I'm working on a 5th. It's just going a little slowly, and because we've got to be thoughtful here. You don't want to throw someone right in the mix until they're really ready to roll. So we have another hire on Monday, and I hope you'll keep your eyes peeled for that. I get the feeling you won't be able to miss it. So here we go. It's 12:19, and we've covered some very important things. We've watched the Shia LaBeouf video. Can we just get that one more time? I feel like I need a little pick-me-up. Can we get a little bit of inspiration from Shia? I mean, what's that? Is that a boiled egg? It's a boiled egg. What's that? What's he doing? Is it an orange? I've got a grapefruit. What is he doing? Watch this. I promise I won't show it again. I just need a little pick-me-up. I need a mid-show pick-me-up. Let's take a look.
Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it! Some people dream of success while you're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not gonna stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it! Just do it! Yes, you can! Just do it! If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up.
Look, I am aware that a video like this with 35 million views or whatever it has, I am aware that all of you have most likely seen this before. Allow me the thrill of discovery and the inspiration of a talented young man telling me I can do it. Is the movie Gattaca online? You know what I'm talking about? Gattaca. There's this, you'll never find it in time, there's this scene. It's a great movie from the latter part of the last century, I think. Gattaca. 1997. Let's roll the trailer for Gattaca. And there's a little scene in there I'll mention. Take a look.
Genetics. What can it mean? The ability to perfect the physical and mental characteristics of every unborn child.
The ability of genetic engineering to choose the genes. In the sense of society.
In the not-too-distant future, our DNA will determine everything about us. A minute drop of blood, saliva, or a single hair determines where you can work, who you should marry, what you're capable of achieving. In a society where success is determined by science, divided by the standards of perfection, one man's only chance.
How do you expect to pull this off? I don't know exactly.
Is to hide his own identity.
This is the last day that you're going to be you and I'm going to be me.
By borrowing someone else's.
Congratulations. What about the interview? That was it.
Do you think you'd be doing what you're doing if it wasn't for who you are, what you are?
I have a feeling he might be there under false pretenses, playing somebody else's hand.
They've got my picture plastered up all over the place. They'll recognize me. They won't recognize me. They'll recognize me!
I don't recognize you. They won't believe that one of their elite could have suckered them all this time.
They are going to find me.
But in a place where any cell from any part of your body can betray you, how do you hide? When we all shed 500 million cells a day. Ethan Hawke, Uma Thurman. Welcome to Gattaca.
It's a hell of a movie. It's 22 years old now. That's how old we all are. Uma Thurman, just spectacular. Ethan Hawke did a great job there. I forget the name of of the other actor there, the fellow who was in the wheelchair there. He played a genetically perfect person who, I think, if memory serves, he came in like second in the Olympics. He didn't win, and so I think like he threw himself in front of the car and was in a wheelchair, something sad like that. So he sells his DNA to Ethan Hawke so that Ethan Hawke can fake his way through the Brave New World, where they check your blood and your urine all the time to make sure you're genetically perfect. There was, the story is set at the cusp of when people were born naturally and when every baby was genetically perfect. So they would abort any baby that wasn't perfect, of course, and they would genetically modify you or choose the best version of you. So it was like this watershed moment in time when you had this new super race of people and then regular people. And Ethan Hawke wanted opportunities. He wanted to be a super person. And he was really, really good, but they discriminated against everyone based on DNA. In fact, there's this amazing scene in the movie where two people are dating and they kiss on the lips. And then the girl rushes to a DNA tester and says, "Swab my lips, tell me about this guy." And this was in 1997, so this was before the age of internet dating, before, 23andMe, before, Google his social media. I thought isn't that very prescient? In 1997, they thought, well, you'll just get a DNA sample of a prospective mate and you'll run it. And Ethan Hawke was hired in a company, and they said, well, we can screen for criminality, we can screen for all these things with your DNA. The reason I went down that tangent, besides the fact that it's a great movie, that I think is recognized. But there's a wonderful inspirational scene at the end where there's two brothers, right? There's the super brother born genetically enhanced, and then there's a regular brother, and it's amazing. It's great to show how the super brother's taller, faster, better. But the regular brother outdoes him in some act of swimming at the end. I really recommend it. And how did you do it? Well, I didn't hold any energy for the swim back. You should Google that. Gattaca left nothing for the swim back. I'm not going to ask my friends here to find it. We spent too much time on Gattaca. But it is almost as inspirational as Shia LaBeouf flexing his pecs. And without further ado, let's talk about some news. First of all, Justin, have I missed any super chats? No. Okay, let's get into the news. I want to let you know, people, that it is very cold out. Here in Canada, we measure temperature in Celsius. So it's actually the warmest it's been in days. It's a minus 11 Celsius, which is probably around 0 Fahrenheit, I'm just guessing. But there's a threat. There's a threat to us. And I'll let Rachel Maddow tell you what the threat is. Until we're back above freezing, we have to be on guard. Take a look.
50 degrees in the Dakotas right now. What would happen if Russia killed the power in Fargo today? Right? What would happen if all the natural gas lines that service Sioux Falls just poofed on the coldest day in recent memory, and it wasn't in our power whether or not to turn them back on? I mean, what would you do if you lost heat indefinitely as the act of a foreign power on the same day the temperature in your front yard matched the temperature in Antarctica? I mean, what would you and your family do?
I like me a good Red Scare. I mean, I remember, was it a movie called The Russians Are Coming? I think that's what it is. And so this Russian pilot, maybe I'm mixing up my Russian movie, this Russian pilot comes down, and she happens to be a very pretty lady, and all these American soldiers go to meet her and says, "Oh, I can talk Russian. You like Yisupski?" Like, it's just silly, silly, silly. I love the old Red Scare movies during the Cold War. I guess I'm just saying, we could have used this Russophobia. We could have used this Red Scarism. We could have used this paranoia from the media when it counted. We could have used this terrifying, oh my God, the Russians are going to get us, in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Instead, we had peace now, unilateral disarmament. They're not that bad. We're the capitalist evil ones we need. So where was this anti-Russian animus? And I didn't know that the Russians could flip a switch and turn off the heat in the U.S. Midwest. I just didn't know they could do that. That's a hell of a thing. But I'm not as smart as Rachel Maddow, so I learn something new every day. You know, Russia is an authoritarian regime, absolutely, and they are not our allies. And I don't even know if they're our friends. But I think this Russia mania, I think if you just are objectively speaking, I think you got to classify it as a conspiracy theory. Let me just put it to you this way. If that was, instead of a young Jewish lesbian named Rachel Maddow, if that was sort of a middle-aged grouchy Texan named Alex Jones, and if instead of saying, you know, the Russians can flip a switch and turn off your heat in this cold snap, if it was Alex Jones saying in that gravelly voice, you know, the gay frogs could do it, we'd say you're crazy. I know that Alex Jones is a larger-than-life character, and there's a large entertainment value. So I'm much more tolerant of his style and his approach, I think, than most. I mean, I don't agree with everything he says, of course. But I put it to you that what you just saw there from Rachel Maddow was a conspiracy theory that if you just put a gravelly-voiced Texan and you swap out the word Russia for the word global something, globalist, Soros, UN, you'd say, ha ha, conspiracy theory, fake news, kick him off of YouTube. But you got some leftists at MSNBC and she'll get a raise. So don't tell me where the fake news is. Don't tell me where the conspiracy theories are. They're in the mainstream media. I think I saw a super chat come and go. Let me just scroll up and see it there. I can't find it quickly there. Maybe my friend, oh, there we go. Oh, I spotted it there. Oliver Shorn. Hi, Ezra. I sent you an agenda last Friday, and it's regarding a lot of the topics you guys be discussing. Okay, Oliver, I can't recall receiving that email, or maybe it came in under a different name. So I'm sorry I don't remember reading it. I may have. But I'll keep an eye peeled. Maybe you could remind me. Did you send it to tips at TheRebel.media? That's sometimes where our tips come in. Okay, I'll take a look there, and I'm just, I don't have that in front of me. F the Chance says, laugh out loud, poor Ezra with his 316 watchers taking stabs at Alex. Sad. You totally misunderstand me. I was saying that Alex Jones was unfairly and improperly marginalized for saying something much less controversial than that absolute moon battery that we just saw from Rachel Maddow. I think you missed my nuance there. I thought I said I appreciate Alex Jones's entertaining style. I've had the opportunity to appear on his show once. I can't even remember what we were talking about now. I think, and I've probably done, 10 shows over the course of time about how outrageous it was that he was deplatformed. So I think you're just missing my nuance there. Okay, I don't see any more super chats. Oh, I see Tame Thing says, hire Bill Whittle, Ezra. You know, about 3 years ago, I reached out to Bill Whittle. And this isn't gossip, I'm just saying I did try and recruit him. But if my memory serves correctly, and I hope I'm not telling tales out of school, he was just commercially outside of our budgetary reach. That's a fancy way of saying he's too expensive. El Chepacabra says it's either Avi or Dank, I bet. You know what? It's really good thinking. And I like Avi Yamini, and he's getting better all the time. And again, I'm not saying that in a condescending way. I'm just saying the quality, the production value, the excitement value of his videos is growing. I really like watching his videos. He's a hot pistol. I've met him, as you know, we crowdfunded his, we're talking about Avi Yamini, that's his name. We crowdfunded his ticket to get him from Melbourne, Australia to Tommy's trial. That was one of the 4, I don't know if you remember, we crowdfunded 4 reporters who weren't even with The Rebel. We got Cassandra Fairbanks from Washington, we got Avi Yamini from Australia, we got 2 Canadians to come with me, Candace Malcolm and Andrew Lawton and I. We went over to cover Tommy's last day at the Old Bailey trial. So Avi was one of them, that's the first time I met him. Yeah, hey, can you throw the sound up on this one here?
Okay, so I'll walk away from them and we'll talk to people that want to talk to us, or is that illegal?
No, it's not, of course it's not illegal.
So what's the problem?
I've told you what the problem is.
It's time to change.
Okay, so what do you want to change?
I'm finished. Thank you. to change the date. That's the outcome.
Okay, so once they change the date, you're happy with it?
No.
I've got my own escort of socialists. How do you feel about what's going on in Venezuela? What are we protesting today? Do you know?
Against Australia.
What's the problem with the date, exactly?
The date is the first. So on this day, James Cook arrived in Australia.
Do you find it odd that most of your crowd is actually white?
I got a problem with the butcher's apron. Yeah, it's sort of like a swastika, yeah?
What did you just say?
The butcher's apron is very similar to the swastika.
You're a historian, and you don't know what date the first fleet arrived.
Okay, just walk on.
Always will be Aboriginal land!
So you're telling me he arrived on the 26th of January?
Okay, mate, if you're going to be like saying there's some sort of semantic...
You know, I won't show you the whole thing, but I just want to remind you, and I want to tell you, the butcher's apron, I just Googled that. That's what the hard left calls the Union Jack. I think that's, so he's, I mean, holy cow, there's some crazies, and he's doing a great job down under. I'm in touch with Abby from time to time. Because of the time zones, we don't talk on the phone much, but, you know, I like his style. What can you say? The guy's a fighter. He runs a little hot sometimes, let's be candid. But how can you not like that guy? He's got such a smile. He reminds me a little bit, in some ways, of Tommy. And to see them together, I should tell you, I had, the last day I was in the UK, we went for sort of an early lunch. We went for lunch together. And it was really an enjoyable meeting. And your other name, Count Dankula, I think his real name is Mark Meakin, if I'm going from memory. I really like that guy too. And I know I'm not supposed to, because as a joke, he trained his girlfriend's dog. Sorry, it's so naughty. You know who I'm talking about, Count Dankula. He trained his girlfriend's dog to raise its paw in a Sieg Heil. Because he was trying to turn this lovable creature into the most unlovable thing he could think of. So it was a prank. It was a prank, and he was prosecuted and convicted. And there he is. Look at those tats. There's a guy with a little bit of ink. Look at that guy. Look at him. Let me tell you. Look at that. Would you agree with me that he has a sense of humor? That he's a little bit wild? That he's really silly? And I really like him. I think he might be just one standard deviation too rebellious for the Rebel. But that doesn't mean we won't. In fact, I interviewed him just the other day about, I'm sorry, I can't remember what it was. But he's great on the free speech stuff. And so, by the way, El Chupacabra, I should tell you that those are two great ideas for talent. And I hope that we will continue to have them involved with us in some ways. But first of all, I don't think that Count Dankula would actually join the Rebel formally. He's got such a big platform. And I really think he is the definition of a lone ranger. Like he's a lone wolf. I just can't imagine him joining a larger team. He's just like the absolute solo act, right? You tell me if I'm wrong. And listen, we try to have an Australian operation, just the time zones. And the thing is, you send an email. Well, it takes a day for the other person to get it, and then you can't just like I could hop on a plane from here and be in London tomorrow, right? Take the night flight. But it's not that way with Australia. It's a 24-hour flight, and you're wrecked time zone wise. I don't know how companies can operate in North America and Australia. It's like being on Mars. It's so far away. So we like both those people, but those aren't the names. Let's see, I think there's one more comment here. Oliver Shorn, yes, it was at the tips and info emails for Rebel Media. I can help you guys expose a lot of issues. For example, Planned Parenthood just legalized infanticide. I have the agenda. Yeah, well, we've seen some of the footage. In fact, why don't we jump there right now? Do we have that footage? No, we don't. Of that Virginia, I think it's the governor of Virginia. Yeah, let's grab that Virginia cover. But in the meantime, let's speed up here because I've spent so much time playing you inspirational videos from Shia LaBeouf and Sia and Shiite and Sadie. Do we have Sadie LaBeouf? Do we get that image of Shia's mom? Okay, let's show It's a tongue twister. Let's show Shia's mom Sadie. Sia and Shia show Shia's mom Sadie. So she's a colorful character herself. Would you agree? She looks like I don't know what she's wearing there, but it's interesting. That looks like it might be from the Disney store or something, like Princess something. So you can see where Shia gets his creative side, and maybe it's sort of a shtick. Shia and Sadie and Sia and Shiites and shtick. There's so many tongue twisters in there, people. Okay, let's get back on track. I want to let you know, people, that we have finally determined who the enemy is. And by we, I mean every single Canadian taxpayer who chips in $1.5 billion a year to our state broadcaster, because after doing the research, looking at 9/11, looking at the 7/7 attacks in the UK, looking at the Madrid attacks, the Bali attacks every week in Iraq, Afghanistan, looking at the Al-Qaeda attack, the ISIS attack on Canada's Parliament that killed Nathan Cirillo, Patrice Vincent, looking at Omar Mateen, looking at the Fort Hood shooting, looking at all of these things, we see a pattern. There's a pattern emerging. The attack of the Bataclan, the attack on Charlie Hebdo, the horrific Bastille Day mass murder in Nice. There's a pattern there. The Beslan attack in Russia, there's a pattern there. Are you ready to see the pattern? Let me introduce to you Wendy Mesley, the former wife of Peter Mansbridge, who has her sinecure in an obscure corner of the CBC. She cracked the code, people. She found the Rosetta Stone. What is the threat to Canada in 2019? Take a look.
This is how the Christian right wants to change Canada. Sex ed is a major point of contention, and Doug Ford promised change.
For too long, the Liberals have ignored Ontario parents.
Ontario's new curriculum would have told kids that same-sex marriage is fine, that not everyone is clearly born a boy or a girl, teaching that social conservatives argue didn't respect parents' religious values. As Premier, Ford quickly repealed it. The movement is taking root in other provinces too. In BC, there have been protests over a school program that supports gay, lesbian, and transgender students. The second galvanizing issue is abortion. Ford supports parental consent, this idea that would make it more difficult for young women to get an abortion.
Kids can't even get their tonsils out without the approval of their parents.
The Christian right wants more people like Ford elected, and the PC leadership race in Prince Edward Island is the next battleground. Campaign Life Coalition is telling supporters who to support. And for this year's federal election, type in your postal code and the website will show you the anti-abortion candidates in your neighborhood. The movement is also a strong voice behind Jason Kenney in the upcoming Alberta election. Sex ed and abortion issues divide Canadians. Kenney, Ford, and Scheer seem more comfortable talking about a third big issue for the Christian right, free speech.
When we talk to young people, a policy that is really resonating with young people in this country is the free speech on campus policy.
For the Christian right, the more free speech the better when it comes to abortion and sex ed. The battle for change is on.
That's just so weird. I mentioned conspiracy theories. I try not to watch too much of the CBC because I have to watch enough of it so I know what's going on. Wendy Mesley's show should be called Kooky Left-Wing Conspiracy Theories. Did you get that? I should tell you from personal observation that actually a greatly disproportionate part of the anti-extreme sex ed coalition in Canada is actually Muslim. I was in a cab a few years back talking about it on the phone, and the cabbie, as soon as I got off the phone, he peppered me with like about 100 questions. He and his whole community and every other Muslim cabbie in Toronto is obsessed with this issue. I should tell you that hundreds, maybe thousands, of Muslim families took their kids out of school over this issue. And you can't go to a protest against this extreme sex. I'm talking about extreme sex ed. The sex ed that they're trying to repeal said there are 6 genders. Without Googling it, no Googling, list 6 genders. By the way, gay is not a gender, obviously. Can you list 6 genders? Okay, there's male and female. Do you got any more? Bisexual is not a gender, if that's what you're thinking. You can't do it, can you? You can't do it. That's how weird this stuff is. So it's very dangerous that the Christian right still believes in pro-life ideas. Very, very dangerous. But the weirdest part there is she's saying that free speech is now a Christian right idea. It's crazy. It's crazy. Fraser McBurney chips in $5 and says, is the internet subject to the same rules as public advertising? Don't conservatives drink Coke and smoke or cars? You would think with 1.1 million subs. I think you're talking about demonetization. Well, YouTube has demonetized us. They told me that in person. I met with their corporate head office here in Toronto, and I've spoken via Skype with their offices in Texas and California. They just demonetized us. They don't care. Oliver Shorn says that sex education is all a part of the agenda. It's the mental illness that flew away. This is also in the agenda. I can expose this as well. Eric Batter, extreme sex ed sounds interesting. Yeah, well, I presume you're a grown male. They're teaching the 6 genders to children of tender years. My beef, and we've got a lot of videos on this Ontario sex ed, my beef is not with teaching people the theory of 6 genders or 20 genders or whatever it's up to now. It's that you're teaching this extreme sex ed to children of such tender years. You should not be getting into this stuff with a 6-year-old. Kids who are still playing with trucks and dolls. Like, for God's sakes, let them have a childhood. Justin Time says, the hell, and to think you got dinged for electoral advertising over the egg and billboard versus this. Proud of your boys from Calgary and win that appeal. Thanks very much. Yeah, well, we are being prosecuted by the government of Alberta for putting up a billboard. You can see all the details at standwiththerebel.com. We're going to fight like hell. We're going to win, I'm pretty sure. How are we doing for time? It's 12:47. I saw a question in here. I don't remember who asked it, asking if Austin Fletcher, I think that's his real name, or Fleckus, as he called, is someone we're looking for. I have written to him. I'm very interested in his work. Maybe I've lost his reply email. I'll have to check maybe in my spam filter. Again, a real independent operator. I just couldn't imagine him joining a larger group, although maybe. But I'd love to have him do stuff for us on a freelance basis. I think I've written to him. I know I've written to him. I'll just have to check to see if I missed his reply. Yeah, listen, there he is. Oh, what a good egg. First of all, look at that guy. You want to hug him. And I'm not talking about extreme sex ed here. He's like a big old teddy bear. Yeah, throw the sound up.
The Women's March, what's the day all about? What's the big message of the day?
Just to come together and be all inclusive and share positive energy and woman power, and I think it's just like a good day for people to express how they feel and express love and dress up and have fun and be out here together.
So we're here at the LA's Women's March. It's a great day today. So why are you here?
We're helping volunteering with my friend.
I don't know who that other young fellow was, but the big fella is Fleckus. I think he's great. You know why? Because he's not mean. He goes into these super wacky left-wing events. He looks like a schlep, let's be honest. He's got a little bit of that Michael Moore vibe, but he's more hygienic. So he's so disarming because he's just a friendly, huggable, lovable guy. How are you not going to like that guy? I want to hug him. I've never even met him. And he talks to people, and he's not mean. He just lets them say their own thing. Like, he'll ask some questions to pull out answers that show some kookiness. But he's just a happy, I'm not even going to call him a happy warrior, because he's not even fighting. He's just a happy elucidator. What do you think of that word? Okay, so we did the Wendy Mesley conspiracy theory. We did Rachel Maddow and her conspiracy theory. I showed you some of the Rebel talent, and I teased you cruelly about our Big Monday announcement. Oh, I want to tell you about it, but I'm not going to. Oh, there's a super chat that comes in. Take a little looky-loo. Oliver Shorn, $5 exactly. They shouldn't be discussing those topics with children. The APA knew it all along. I will email this to you this evening. Okay, thanks. Okay, I've got a few other vids. We've got one by the president of the CBC comparing Netflix. How long is that one? How long is that clip? It's almost 2 minutes. Let's play some of it. I don't want to play all of it because it's
of India.
But let's play some of it. This is the president of the CBC.
In French Africa, you would think I'm educating them, I'm bringing up...
Go to the beginning, because I don't want to miss the first part. Go back to the beginning.
So I'm going to just go a little off script, because I was thinking about the British Empire, and how if you were there and you were the Viceroy of India, you would feel that you were doing only good for the people of India. Or similarly, if you were in French Africa, you would think, I'm educating them, I'm bringing up, they bring their resources to the world, and I am helping them. There was a time where cultural imperialism was absolutely accepted. And in fact, we were, if you're a history student, you would be proud.
That crackpot, that wacko, that bizarre woman is the head of Canada's state broadcaster, and she's comparing Netflix. I don't know if you caught that part. She is saying the fact that 6.7 million Canadians, that's million households, so that's about a quarter of Canadian households, about a third of Canadian households. A third of Canadian households subscribe to Netflix. So obviously they watch Netflix, which is far more than watch the crap she serves up at the CBC. And and she's saying it's because we're like the natives in India or Africa being colonized by this empire, and we need to be saved from this colonial imperialism. Or I don't even know what she was saying. I don't know who she was in that. Was she the anti-imperialist, anti-colonist or something? I should tell you that before she took over the CBC, she was working in New York City. So she, I think this is called projection. That's what psychologists would call projection. She herself is really a foreigner. She didn't come back for us. Like Michael Ignatieff or Chrystia Freeland. She only came back to get the good gig. A couple super chats. Mike Corbin. Hi, Mike. Have you watched Mike Cernovich's film, HAWKE, and what did you think of it? I haven't watched it. I've seen little clips that he's put on Twitter. Frankly, I don't know. I guess it was easy enough to find. I didn't know it was out yet. I wasn't maybe paying close enough attention, so I can't answer substantively. EHEX3, do you think it's going to get worse for our cause before it gets better? Yes. And that assumes it's going to get better. Oliver Shorn, Dr. John Money was behind the gender hoax. Okay. Did I miss any? I think I got them all. Just in time. Okay, yeah. Let's check the time. It's 12:53. I don't really think the Howard Schultz one. Well, okay. The headline of this live chat says Howard Schultz, so we better play with it. Play it. I want to tell you that the president of, the founder, really the guy who really got Starbucks going, his name is Howard Schultz, and I always thought of him as a real lefty, because he was the guy who, Starbucks is a very left-wing company, based in a very left-wing part of the world. I think it really got to start in Seattle, very, very left-wing, very hip. They're the ones who said we're going to turn all of our bathrooms into homeless shelters or whatever. They had some weird rule there. So he's very left-wing and very weird. But he's announced that he's going to run for president, if I'm getting him right, as neither Republican or Democrat, as sort of a moderate centrist. And that has caused a rage on the left, who I think they correctly think that will strip away some Democrats who would otherwise vote Democrat. I think it would also strip away some Trumpists, though, because Trump voters are independent-minded. Not all of them are Republican. But judge for yourself. Here's a clip of Howard Schultz saying something un-Democrat. Take a look.
So the Republicans want border security. I agree with that.
The Democrats, in a sense, want to get rid of ICE. I think that's wrong. We need Border Patrol because bad people do want to come in.
Well, that's tougher than some Republicans are. So it's interesting, some of these folks who are positioning themselves. I'm really enjoying watching. Can we have a picture of Tulsi Gabbard? Maybe a picture of her on her beautiful wedding day. There's so many. Cory Booker, the really weird senator I think he's from New Jersey, if memory serves. He says he's running for Congress. Kamala Harris is, I think, clearly the leader in terms of organization. But you've also got the really, oh my God, that Elizabeth Warren, the one that Donald Trump calls Pocahontas. Joe Biden still keeps teasing about it. Look at Tulsi Gabbard. Look at that woman. Look how hip she is. She is former Air Force pilot. That's her in beautiful Hawaii. I think she's Hindu. That's her hipster husband. Very, very Hawaii. She says she wants to run for president. I like her. And she's tough on foreign affairs, tough on military stuff. Very interesting crop of candidates. Of course, you have some BS, never Trumpers saying, oh, we're going to primary Trump. I don't believe it. And if there is a primary challenge to Trump, I think it's going to be stillborn. I don't think there's any appetite amongst Republicans to get rid of Trump. I think in fact, polls suggest that he's the most popular Republican president with the Republican base in a long time, as in more Republicans support Trump as president than Republicans supported George W. Bush, for example. All right, it's 12:56. I don't want to open up a new video clip, and thank you for letting me spend 20 minutes going over Shia, Sia, Shia, and other inspirational tools and supplements. I've made that Shia LaBeouf YouTube page one of my internet favorite links, so I can find it quickly. And my new plan is every day, start the day with Shia LaBeouf shouting at me, in the hopes it'll make me a better person. We got 3 minutes left. Let's see if there's any more tweets or comments that are interesting. Ezra, are you an anti-vaxxer? No, not generally. Not with like measles, mumps, rubella, things like that. I have some questions about the HPV vaccination. I am very skeptical of that, frankly, but I'm not an expert in it, and I certainly wouldn't characterize myself as an anti-vaxxer. I think especially for like children's diseases. Now, I don't think you necessarily want to force someone to take an injection, but I think it's fair for a school to say if you don't have your vaccination that you can't come here. Like I just think that although someone has the right legally to opt out their own child, I think they don't have the power to forcibly opt that unvaccinated child in to other people's lives. You see what I'm saying? So I would take sort of the don't tread on me point of view, but then don't foist on me either. Anyway, I don't talk a lot about it. Frankly, I think that's the first time I've ever weighed in on vaccination. It's not a big issue for me. Another super chat just clicked in. Oliver Shorn, please share the agendas in your email. I'll send another ones when you reply to the email. Well, I'll take a look at it, but I'm not going to promise that I'm going to read your email on the air. Rocky Road, my Irish grandmother wants to immigrate to Canada. Trudeau just wants third world to destroy it. I don't know. I remember when Justin Trudeau put an end to a program that allowed churches to privately sponsor Christian refugees from Syria and Iraq. He arbitrarily capped it at 1,000 and then proceeded to bring in 49,000 Muslim Syrians. So he was clearly anti-Christian, and he's an Islamophile. It's really weird. I don't know why he is. Engine Kid 88, I love the Rebel, Ezra, and always pray for your success. Be well. Thank you. PKE Racing, Shia every day will make you nuts. Well, okay, I'll be honest. Today is just day 2 in my new Shia checklist. So I discovered the video yesterday, watched it a bunch of times, and then I thought I'd get my day started by just having him look at the camera and say, do it. Killer Kane, I miss Bush. Heck, when Obama was around, I missed Nixon. Okay. El Chupacabra would love an interview with Peter Zahan on the population crash of the West. Okay, I'm unfamiliar with that, but maybe I'll take a peek at who that is. Roll Dak, watch Max Bernier interview on Rubin Report, AAA+++. I know both Bernier and Rubin were excited about that interview. I'll have to watch it. I'll have to make time and watch it. I like both guys. And I like the fact that Maxime Bernier will talk to the Rebel. That doesn't necessarily mean he endorses us or we endorse him. It's just a conversation. It's so weird how Andrew Scheer has told his MPs don't talk to the Rebel because the CBC doesn't like it. I just don't think that's good politics. Chuck McGill, Oshawa used to have union jobs. Ask Ezra, he hates unions and the middle class. No, I don't think that's true that I hate unions and the middle class. In fact, I think I'm a strong supporter of industrial jobs. Pipelines, oil and gas, auto factories. One of the reasons I like Trump so much is that he is pro-job. It's 1 p.m. Eastern time, and if it were not that late time, and maybe you can remind me next week, I will show you my favorite video from the 2016 campaign. It was a steelworkers video by a steelworker who I became Facebook friends with, by the way, from Indiana, I think, who's against Trump. He was against Trump in 2016. You know what, if you remind me next week, I'll tell you all about my steelworker Facebook friend. And I just reached out to him when I saw this. He was starring in a TV ad against Trump and steel, and I said, all right, you've seen Trump in action for 2 years. Are you still anti-Trump? The guy's done more for steel than anyone in America politically in 100 years. Remind me next week and we'll talk about it because it's already 1:01, so I have to go. Folks, I've enjoyed this, maybe too much. Forgive me if you thought my banter was too cheeky or childish. Frankly, that's one of the things we do on our weekly live chats is we have a little bit of fun and we're unscripted. If you want to see something more serious, and I think there is something more serious going on today, please join my premium show tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, where I will talk about something called World Hijab Day and how the CBC is being an enforcer of that day. That's tonight at 8 p.m. Until then, on behalf of all of us here at Rebel World Headquarters to you at home, keep fighting for freedom.